Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Can I just ask you then about election expenses,
Yeah.
which is something that we've worked out very extensively. Why have you been prepared to spend money on a QC to try and stop police investigating what we have revealed?
Well, we haven't been doing that. What we're doing is we are cooperating
you had a
with
QC
the...
in the Thanet South constituency, in the court, actually asking the judge to stop the investigation.
Well, there's a year-long process of investigating these things.
But you didn't want that year. You
well,
actually
no, there was
you
a
went
whole...
to court to ask the court not to allow the police an extension to go on investigating these abuses.
That's right. As I said, there had been a year, and it's perfectly legitimate to argue, well, that's enough time to look at it. But look, I'm very happy for the Electoral Commission to examine all of this.
Well, why get a QC to stop it then?
Well, that was in one particular seat. But I'm very happy that they've got the time now, and they've got all the paperwork to examine this. But I do
Well,
think...
they have got the paperwork, but Prime Minister, with respect, the Electoral Commission had to go to court to wring the papers out of you.
They didn't have to go to court.
They did.
They didn't.
They did.
That's not
You,
right.
you were
That
3
is-
days overdue, and they had to go to court.
We had told them when the papers were going to be delivered, and so in our view that was unnecessary.
That is not their view.
Well, that is not my view.
Will you, as Prime Minister, move this thing speedily through so that it can be resolved as quickly as possible? Because at the moment, your own majority, if any of this is proved, is in serious danger.
Well, what we're doing is answering the questions of the Electoral Commission. As I say, I think, look, it's a Channel 4 investigation, and I know you're proud of the work that you've done. We're answering all the questions. I think you're making quite a large mountain out of what I think is a relatively
So you disagree with the judge, then?
No, I think it's a relatively straightforward set of questions that we have to answer. I'm very confident we're going to answer all of them and put this issue comfortably away.
Now, of course, the thing which, of course, you've been reporting very extensively on, which is, of course, the election expenses scandal, he seems really to be kind of, well, this is mountain out of a molehill stuff, Michael.
He does. He argues that the battle buses that the Conservatives employed last spring in the general election are no different from the battle buses that for years have been taking party leaders around on the campaign trail. But the evidence is that the battle buses, the fleet they used last year, was for taking party volunteers to marginal seats in a centrally organised way. And when they got there, those volunteers were put up in hotels. Most important, that they were working on the ground, giving out literature for individual candidates, going around the doorsteps, reading out scripts, canvassing for individual candidates. And if that's so, then the rules suggest that those expenses should have been declared locally in a way that they weren't. And the Electoral Commission seems to think that as well.
Michael.
I've been getting away with it all